Well, good morning, Jan. How
Good
are
morning.
you? I'm here with
Good.
Jan McNeilan, who is a garden consultant extraordinaire, and we're going to be talking about our June tips of what to do in the garden. So I see a bunch of container plants here, and it looks like fertilizer.
Well, it's time to give them a boost now that they're kind of settling in the pots. And so what you want to do, whether you use dry fertilizer, water-soluble fertilizer, whatever, you want to water your pots first.
Okay.
And then, especially with the water-soluble fertilizer, water your pots first, and then take your fertilizer and try not to blow a hole into your potting soil when you're doing it, but then water it and water it nice and heavily, and then just do that with every pot. And then make sure that when you're watering, not fertilizing, but when you're watering, your water goes all the way through the pot and you see it leaching out the bottom. If not, you have a buildup of fertilizer salts, and sometimes that can be an issue for plants.
And if you do have that buildup from the fertilizer, you just run regular garden water through it to leach it out.
Not more fertilizer, just water to just get it all watered. So what I'm going to do is just go through and give these little guys a boost, or you could use the dry fertilizer, put it on top, and then water it in.
Well, now, you know, a lot of people, Jan, are always thinking that slugs don't get into pots, but that's simply not the truth, is it?
They like to climb. They could
do
that. So after I water these, if I have any plants that are susceptible to slug damage, I'll take some, and we use the phosphorespates, and I'll take some and put it in the pots as well, so that we protect our investment.
Yeah, and why not? Now, you've got something that is new and exciting in your vegetable garden that you're trying this year. Why don't we walk out there and see what's going on?
Okay, can do.
Well, Jan, now we've been many years, we come here and visit this beautiful vegetable garden. This year it is different. Tell me what you did.
Well, I wanted to do what I thought was a square foot garden. So we plotted it out, and so that we don't have as many paths going through it. And I know lots of people they garden in containers and they garden in raised beds, and some have open gardens like this. But we kind of do a little bit of everything. And I wanted it to be a little different this year because as much as I know about plants, I am horrible about thinning. I'm just the thing, you know, when a plant's alive, it's hard to pull it out.
It's true.
So I wanted it to look different. So what we did was that we plotted out 4-foot square plots the whole way, with paths in between them, little short paths. But since then I've filled up those short paths.
Being the plant person you are, you had to use that space, didn't you?
Right. So, but it's really, we'll see. We've given plants, the tomatoes have more space than they've ever had before. We've got some kale in that has more space than I've ever given it before. And although we may have fewer plants, we're going to have, I think, a bigger crop.
The theory is that if the plants have the proper space, you're going to get more produce from each plant, so therefore you get a bigger haul.
So we'll just watch it and see what happens.
Well, you know, I think the one thing that I hate doing, you hate thinning, I hate weeding. And you have a little wing weeder here.
Yeah, I'm just doing just get them when they're young, make a dust mulch around your plants.
And it really is so much easier to get them when they're young.
Yeah, I've got some carrots here that I hope will come up eventually. And so just maintenance, that's all.
Yeah, and speaking of soil, you know, we have a beautiful display vegetable garden at the store, and I don't think we can impress upon people enough the importance of soil and really having a good mix, blended in really well, because vegetables will just explode in that kind of setting. And it's not too late to plant tomatoes.
It's not too late. I'm going to do some tomatoes today.
Let's walk over here and see what you got.
Well, I just have some last transplants. So I'm going to put them in here, put some of them in this rack here, and it's not too late. We've planted gardens as late as the end of June.
Yeah, and we'll still have the time to haul in.
You can still get some transplants and put them in.
Well, Jan, it's always a pleasure getting tips from you. If you have any other questions, you can go to gardentime.tv and look at the tips there and refresh yourself, get out in your garden. Always a pleasure, Jan. Thanks.
See you next month.